Hi, welcome. This is the second edition of Just a Few Points. Today, since Frank, our videographer, is back in the office, a little bit of a more professional environment. Looks good. I'm Thomas. I have Roy and Melissa with me again. And again, second edition, Just a Few Points. Roy?
All right, we'll jump
What's your
right
point?
in. So, quick start to the week. Big news day on Monday. Instagram is going to be removing all display of likes counts in the US. So now this is something that has happened before. They've rolled it out in Ireland and I think a couple other countries, but now they're rolling it out here in the US. And I haven't checked for myself, but I'm pretty sure this is immediate, and we should start seeing you'll see the likes, but you won't have counts next to them.
Okay, so you know you got a like or many likes. You just don't know.
You just don't know how many. So
What was the reason? I think it had to do with kids being depressed or stuff like that, right?
Right. Yeah. So what would you think? Like something like this. Why do you think they're any idea why they would maybe roll this out?
That's what they say and that's what they claim. But it also could be, they can't control how many bots are, creating these fake likes and things like that. So maybe since they can't figure it out, just hide it.
I know that one of my daughters, they're all into it, but one of my daughters, I said 2 years ago, she posted something on Facebook and she was like, "Oh my God, I only got 40 likes." I said, 40 likes? I was like, that's great, but it must be something,
Yeah, I do think it does have to do with mental health. There's definitely been a lot of focus on that in the U.S. So there's certainly that aspect. That I like that point. There might be something there.
Is there any implication from a business perspective that you see?
Yeah, well, so one thing we're seeing is a lot of influencers.
I just wanted to say that actually, the influencers,
So
it's devastating for them,
There's
right?
uproar, and as if we're trying to find influencers to work with, how do we kind of gauge, their engagement on their
So they
accounts?
can't size their influence anymore.
I have to look into it a little bit, but it's gonna get harder, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and going off of that, over the weekend, I was reading up on Instagram. Remember last week we were talking about how Twitter decided to get rid of all of their political advertising? Instagram is taking somewhat of a different approach to that, where they're now saying, we will sponsor you and we'll let you go on our IGTV and we'll let you put some videos up there. And, we can even start covering some of the influencers' production costs, but you can't talk about politics, can't talk about the upcoming election, can't talk about any social issues going on.
So this goes to the influencers?
The celebrities, the influencers, the people who are, kind of racking in a lot of money in Instagram world.
I wonder if that's a different approach, because Facebook's obviously, they own Instagram, so I wonder if that's specific to Instagram or both platforms.
I think they're all struggling with how to deal with a wave that's building and everybody sees coming towards any of those big platforms, and they can't quite get their arms around what this wave is. They just know it will be challenging for them and it will not be necessarily good for them. And I think they all struggle just to start somewhere.
Yeah, I can see the challenge. I can't relate, but I certainly can see it. It's like once you start to put rules in place, well, then how is that unfairly impacting an organic ecosystem where you can say we're not meddling at all?
Well, the thing is, as a consumer, or even us as professionals who are not just dabbling in the space but making a living of that, it's very non-transparent how a lot of those things happen. Actually, which fits to what I brought to the table this week is there's a doctor in New York. The headline is "Botox Doc Goes Nuclear to Fight Bad Online Reviews," specifically on Yelp. And I know we had internal conversations way back 3-4 years at the very beginning of Yelp, how we felt that Yelp is actually gaming the system. And like one of the things that we have that we felt was your reviews are better on Yelp if you're paying for advertisement on Yelp. And it was, it's difficult to prove, but, I think there are a lot of things happening behind the scenes based on what we just discussed. They come up with their own rules, completely unregulated, doing their own stuff for their own benefit, seemingly to the benefit of who they sell to, but it's really so out of control. And so this guy, I do not know if he's a good doctor or a bad doctor. It's really not possible to judge. But he makes some very good points. And I said, there are hands down reviews that are fake reviews. And by the way, this doctor actually, he sued before and he won before.
Against Yelp?
Against Yelp and
Okay.
consumers. The consumers were definitely, they were wrong.
Okay.
And they could not prove that they were right.
Hmm.
And so he's suing now Yelp. And, so the question is really, what is their responsibility? And, are they gaming the system? If they do game the system, you cannot, in my opinion, no longer allow them to just do exactly that. Because it's just too irresponsible. And then one of the claims, of the doctor says, I'm a doctor, I make good money. I can fight this, I can afford it, but many other small businesses, they go broke. I know actually from a small business actually close to where we live, that literally went belly up because of a few bad reviews.
Yeah,
They didn't make a lot of money in the first place and had a few bad reviews and we're gone. So what's the responsibility that they have, and is it really right that those things are staying unregulated? Because, everything else is regulated. It's regulated what the signs are on the street, and in which direction you can drive and what you can do and what you cannot do. Yet these things you can just do.
You know what it reminds me of? There was this business a few years ago, maybe a couple of years ago. What they would do is they'd put up headshots of somebody who got in trouble on their website. An article, a headshot of them, and all this bad information, negative information, and then they would reach out to that person and say, they'd then have a fee to remove that page. So they'd go publish these pages and then charge a fee to remove it. They got in trouble. They got shut down. I almost see the same thing happening with Yelp.
That's actually happening. I think it's still happening. For example, with the other review sites, Health Grades and all of those, they've done it all. Where, especially in the early days, they put basic profiles up of all the doctors, but very often with wrong information, wrong address, wrong this, wrong that, and then, but in order to make the changes, you had to subscribe. So, how much of that is just really not the right process? How much is that is really fraudulent or really not? Process should be allowed.
Yeah, they definitely have like a predatory sales team. Their approach is pretty cutthroat, I'd say. We've had clients that they call and say, more or less harass them, calling once a week, warning them, our clients who might not understand in depth the services that are being offered, and they're saying to them, hey, listen, if you want to keep showing up on Google, you got to come. It's just not right.
I just think that sooner or later those things will become fraudulent, hence criminal acts. And I think that's not far-fetched, that we shouldn't have to go there, because there's just so much uncontrolled information online where people can go ballistic on somebody and destroy somebody's business.
Yeah. And it is really, it's everything for the local business. Their appearance on those review sites, it could be life or death for those guys for sure.
Melissa, what do you have?
Going back to Instagram and all of those other social media platforms, I saw recently Facebook announced that they're going to go through a rebrand. Not the Facebook app itself, but the company brand Facebook that owns WhatsApp, Instagram. They've already revealed what the logo is going to look like, just simple, all caps, and it just kind of goes to show that a rebrand isn't always the answer to your problems. Because, they are still going through all of these regulations, and there are people still outraged by, Facebook's lack of regulations, especially when it comes to the political advertising. That's kind of where Twitter's idea came from, and now I guess Instagram's idea is coming from. So they're still getting their backlash and things like that, which I find hilarious.
It is.
Yeah.
There was a This is definitely, I'm quoting like a famous CEO or something. He says, your brand is what people say about your company when you're not in the room.
Exactly.
And I don't think changing the caps is going
And
to...
they're talking about the reasoning being that this logo is going to be clearer. You have to understand who owns the platforms that you're using,
And you better understand it because it's all caps or what?
Exactly. I mean, how, just because you're changing your logo and you're changing your look and your appeal doesn't mean you have to, live your new brand.
No, we deal a lot with patient experience, as you know, and we always say to our clients, patient experience is not what you say, but what you live.
Exactly.
That's a Facebook example is a good example. They can talk as much as they can as they want, but if they don't live a different attitude, a different treatment of how they deal with information and with us as a consumer, they can say, well, they can make it capital caps as much as they want. It's not going to change their brand perception.
Yeah. So that, we can tie that into some interesting news coming out of the worldwide consortium. We have DuckDuckGo joining. And
we talked about that before. We said we need another search engine, right?
So going back to the core of a company's mission, DuckDuckGo is all about privacy, and they respect the privacy of their searchers from point A to point B. They claim to not track anything. Now, we're still talking about a search engine that has a market share worldwide of 0.5% of all searches.
Do they have advertisement?
They do. So they're on the Bing and Yahoo advertising network. So I'm not 100% certain if you can and just restrict it just to DuckDuckGo, but you can definitely serve there. Now, while it is a very small overall search volume's very, very small, when you look at US search volume, that 0.5% becomes 1%. But then what we also know is that people that are on DuckDuckGo are particularly tech savvy, they respect privacy, so then you can start to narrow down your audience further from there. Plus you benefit from having less competition.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I think it's very interesting because I do believe that sooner or later there will be another search engine, space for another search engine again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Google is just, abusing their power.
Yeah, whether that comes naturally or they get, there's some regulations to break them up. The field will have to change at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to see them in that, the worldwide consortium because any decisions made going forward, we at least hope will have more of a focus on privacy. So it's definitely good to see that, and we hope to see them grow in the future as well.
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
It could be a whole different conversation about, the importance of finding the right name for any brand.
Right.
It's like, well, DuckDuckGo would be like making the case for, no, not really.
Yeah, make any name work, really. But yeah, they saw double-digit growth last year. They're expecting to see even more growth this year. Our job as marketers would certainly change a lot with the introduction of more privacy-centric search engines.
I might just use them more because I'm getting more and more really disappointed when I'm doing research for clients that just don't get the results I want anymore.
Well, because they're skewed for you, whereas you're trying to not have. You're just trying to...
Don't profile me too much because
exactly.
I need the independent search when I'm doing research for my clients.
Right.
When I'm pegged by Google who I am and what I'm supposed to see and what I should see and what I shouldn't see.
Yep.
Oh, anyway. Anything else? Or are we good for this week?
I think we're good for now.
Okay. That was episode 2. I hope you enjoyed it. See you again next week.